Hey guys, I'm sorry that it's taken me a day to get my act together, but I wanted to make sure I had time to do justice to some videos. So I'm going to send some things in writing to supplement this, but when you see this video, this is something you can start doing right away if it's not something you already know how to do. If it is, rock on. If you have done the place command, which is what I'm about to show you, with other dogs, do it however you do it. If there are variances between your style and my style, I don't think either one is more right or wrong. So you do your thing. But what I'm going to show you is how we start and then what you hope to progress to with Millie. This client dog is Shelby, and she's actually been doing it for a week. So we're going to go through the starter steps, but then when I show you some more advanced stuff, she is doing it because she's been doing it. Don't expect Millie to do it at first. So, okay, first things first, I like to use a really light slip lead because you're going to be dropping it a lot and Millie's going to just be dragging it, and it's nice if it's not some big heavy thing that's distracting when she moves. You want for this to be as invisible as possible. Hello, sweetie. So I just have a little, you've probably seen me bring them to your house before, just a little light slip lead. So here's how we start. The idea behind the place command is that when we teach a dog to go to place, good girl, the place has to be clear barriers. So you want it to either be a bed, a towel, even a piece of your own furniture, if it's a chair or a cushion on a sofa, it doesn't matter. As long as it has distinct barriers for the dog, then you're good to go. I like to use the Corunda bed, especially when training, but if there's room in your house, all the time. Because the elevation of the Corunda bed just provides more distinction between where the dog's supposed to be and where the dog's not supposed to go. So when we put a dog in place, the idea is that she stays there until you release her. So we don't care what she does when she's there. She can eat, she can chew on stuff, have treats, play with a toy, lay down, stand up, spin on her head. We don't care what she does as long as she stays there. So the idea here is that we have two commands of equal importance. One is place, and then the next one is break, or whatever word you want, free, it doesn't matter. It's the release word. They're equally important. We tell her place, that's where we want her to go. And as she starts to understand the meaning of break, or whatever release word, that starts to give her context that, oh, I stay here until I hear that. I stay here until I hear that. So a lot of people spend so much time emphasizing go to your place that they forget. That was coincidental, but I'm not going to hold her to it. So that when they do that, the dog's going to keep wandering off and hopping off every time there's a distraction if we don't clarify for her that you're there until break. So here's how we start. I'm a good girl. Yes, you are. Shelby was an anxiety case, and also her mom is a first-time dog owner. So she was running the house and becoming kind of fear aggressive with people who came into the house, biting, charging, all those things. She's meadowed a bit. All right, so here's what we do. We spin the dog out, and just before, hold on, sweetie, just before we get to her first step onto the bed, we say, spin around, place, yes, yes. So you notice that I'm saying it right before she would step up. I want her to associate moving right onto the bed. Timing is important when they're learning. Timing is important. Now, as time goes by and the dog masters the command, you notice that I just said the word and she'd go jump on it. But right now, it is very important that we associate it with stepping up. If she tries to get off, you just use the leash to keep her on. Just keep putting her back on. You can block her from getting off, but you're only leaving her on there for a second before you say, break. Yes, good girl, good girl, good girl. So notice that when I said, good girl, notice that when I said break, I gave her a little tug on the leash. Because when you start doing this, Millie's not going to know what break means, so you want to show her. So you say break, and when she comes off, You just party, party, party. Love, love, love. All good. And then we repeat. Shelby, place? Yes. Notice that when she gets on, I mark it with a yes. That's just to give her something to affirm that she did what I wanted. So we say place and then yes. And I say it with that kind of enthusiasm. So again, if she starts trying to get off, you block, you use the leash to steer, whatever you need to do to physically keep her on there. And then give her a second to settle, and you just need a couple of seconds, and then break. Yes, good girl, good girl, good girl. So you will do this, no joke, hundreds of times. Eventually you'll get to the point where when you put her up there, you will drop the lead. And you'll start walking around and sort of trying to get a measure of how long will she stay, what will she do. Now that's cheating, which she knows. Now, if she were going to get off, she's pretty good about holding the barrier, but if I thought she was having evil thoughts, I'd give her a sound, at whatever your sound is to get her attention. If she hung, now I know that she'll stay where she is, but let's say she's a new dog and she's on the edge. I'll just walk up and give her a little spatial pressure. Oh, you little stinker. Give her a little spatial pressure. And back her up. So somebody's getting sassy this morning. All right, so you'll walk around, you'll do this, and then at some point, break. Yes, good girl, good girl, good girl. Yeah, always a good girl. Okay, so you're going to keep doing this, and your goal will be that when you put her in place, yes, that when you put her in place, you can eventually leave that leash there, maybe sit down for a minute. Let me back up. And just keep increasing her capacity to stay in place. If she breaks early and you need to put her back on, use no verbal corrections, no punitive measures, nothing. Just place her back on. Do not say the command again. Anytime that she wanders off, you just put her back on. You do not. No talking, no correction, no anything. Okay? So you do that and you just keep expanding and developing her ability, her capacity to stay in place. At some point, you just make it more and more challenging. Try walking out of the room really quickly and coming back. Or you can do this. This dog is a treat hound. Oh, look, see that? So my cue, yeah, this is a good one because she's acting out today. So my cue was late. You heard my sound. So you saw me just kind of push her back on. No correction, no repeat of the command. If we repeat commands, they lose their meaning. So I'm getting one of her favorite treats, Zooks. Now, when I know that a dog is good about staying and is getting pretty strong, then I will start to do what we call proofing, where we really put a challenge in front of the dog. For Millie, a challenge could be walking one of the dogs into the room. If she's food driven like you were saying she is, and so is Shelby, putting these treats down, I think they're on camera. Yeah, okay. So there are those treats, and she's staring at me now if you can't see it, but I'll sit here. She looks at the treats. I do not give her a correction. You know, a lot of times I'd give a sound if she did that, but I'm not doing that. So barely in camera, but I'm walking out of the way where she can go straight to it. I'm nowhere near it. Now I'm going to walk off camera for a second. I'm in my training room. Well, I guess you can kind of see. I'm going to walk out the door. See, if you're watching her, she's having evil thoughts. I'm going to walk out the door and go out of her vision. So I'm out of her vision, though she obviously can hear my voice. So this is proofing. She's a week into it with a lot of repetitions, I should add. Normal people can't do as many reps as I'm doing with her. So what you're seeing with Shelby may end up taking you 3 or 4 weeks because she does hundreds of these repetitions a day. Brick, good girl, good girl. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. When you are working with Millie, no other dogs in the room, what you want to do when we are, this I consider both obedience and rehab because, and probably the most important command you can work with her on right now, because when a dog has to concentrate, and it is a job for them to stay on this place, it uses their brain. It starts to develop, when they get better at it, a kind of a safe place, almost like a crate would be. And the limits on their physical movement all combine to help a dog's brain slow down a bit. Now, at first, she may look like her eyes are buggy and she's looking all over the place. That's fine. It takes, for a dog to really master an obedience command, it takes upwards of 2,000 repetitions, just to put it in perspective. So, this is something that I would say focus mainly on this in the coming weeks as we move forward with her. And to the extent that you sacrifice time on other things, if you have limited time, this should always be your indoor priority. Always, always, always. Because the place command will help her calm, will help her relax, will help you with multi-dog management when she gets good at it. So focus on this right now. Place command indoors. I'm going to send you another video as quickly as I can make it to show you what we want to do on the long line and explain what we're doing with the long line. Okay, my last thing would be that as we move along, this is especially true when you're doing the obedience components, it is incredibly important for us as humans to remember, number one, we do not say a command more than 2 times. There is an art to mastering your ability to take a pause. So if I say to a dog, let's see, come here, baby. Now watch this. This dog knows how to do a down, but she sometimes just gets it in her head. So, Shelby, down. Yes. Now keep an eye on her. Oh, now you're going to be perfect. Now she's going to be perfect. Okay. You're a good girl. So this is something, oh, there we go. She popped up early. I do not correct her. I do not say the word again. Notice I have a hand signal. Yes. I always say yes when they do the right thing, even if it's 3rd, 4th, 5th repetition. Oh, yeah, so her treats again, right? So she's having a rough morning. Yes. Now, let me just take a pause. As I'm talking to you, I'm starting to move to the treats because I want to show you something with the treats. I'm not even conscious while I'm talking to you. Literally, I was not even conscious when I was talking to you. That I'm putting her down and I'm moving. I'm putting her down and I'm moving. So I'm creating all this motion that gets her excited. So what I want to do is stop and take a pause, which is basically I put you in a down. Now let's just sit and absorb that you're in a down. Yes. So you can see, is she pushing my nerves? Yeah, but she's learning. So I have got to learn to enjoy it. Enjoy her learning experience. Enjoy your learning experience. Every time that a dog screws up or pushes back or has an off morning, which for Shelby, I'm saying it's an off morning because her listening skills seem a little cramped. For her, she's having a great morning. All right, I have treats in my hand. As you can see, come over here. Hey, yes. So we do it again. And I'm dropping treats now. I don't know if it's in the camera, but you can see her head turn toward those treats. So this is something that you'll do. The downstay, I'll send you a video on as well. The downstay pairs really beautifully. The downstay pairs really beautifully with the place command. So those are 2 things you could probably work simultaneously. But as I was saying, when we're doing these obedience commands, the dogs are going to take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, as are you. If you don't have fun with it, and if the dog doesn't have fun with it, then it's going to be more frustration than it needs to be. Let the training be fun always. If it's fun, then Millie's going to want to do it. The same is true when we work on recall. I always say to people, make recall fun and never, ever, ever have a negative tone when you're doing recall, because we always want the dog to think it's fun to come to us. So even though you feel the weight of needing to rehabilitate her and the whole pressure of needing to make her adoptable, we've got to enjoy it and let her enjoy her life and literally make learning fun for her. So, okay, if you have any questions, call or text me. As you know, texts get quicker responses. And start making this your indoor priority. Oh, or if you have good weather, go outdoors, doesn't matter to me. The key is that when she is learning new things, we need the environment to be as distraction-free as possible. So put all the other dogs up so that she can focus on you and you on her. So, all right, I certainly am chatty. This video is probably 5 minutes longer than it needs to be. All right, talk to you.